Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kola McKinster. I will be going through the Meharry Elam Center training orientation with you today. This is two type of orientation that we have on Meharry campus. So we have the overall Meharry orientation for new hires, and we have our Elam Center orientation. So this is what the presentation is on, just the Elam Center orientation, orientating you to the services that we have here and other things that are included into this. So the content of the presentation, we have the Elam Center, we have a history, our mission statement, the programs, our organizational structure, and of course we have our staff expectations, work hours, breaks, dress code, confidentiality, workplace safety and security. Now, most of these things you're going to have a discussion with your immediate program manager when they meet with you to go over them in detail. But this is more of a generalized, information for you to have. So, and then we'll also have the expectation of the Elam side continue. We have the our training and development, as well as our policy and procedure, rights of persons served. We're going to talk about that, and of course our current capability that we have here at Elam Center. So just a little history of the Elam Center. For those of you who don't know anything about Elam Center, it was Dr. Lloyd C. Elam Center from 1929 to 2008 was the first chair of the Department of Psychiatry, and tells you how long he served. And we have a long relationship with his wife as well. They're always, trying to find ways to donate to the Elam Center to make sure that we are having all the things that we need to provide for services for our patient. So their long history of donation have been given to the Elam Center by Dr. Laura Elam Center's wife, or Elam, Dr. Elam wife, not his center, but Dr. Elam's wife, sorry. So the mission statement is that as a division of, I hate to read all this, but just to give you an overall of our mission statement is what we are committed to providing quality and culturally sensitive behavioral health services and care, including support for individuals and families who are experiencing co-occurring substance use disorder and mental illness. So that's basically what we do. We provide mental illness and services, as well as substance abuse services for those who may be having those issues. We are, of course, as you guys know, we are state funded as well. So majority of our funding comes from the state to provide these services. So we are dedicated to providing research. As you guys can see in the hallway, we have many students here. We have psychiatrists who work with our residents, as well as other students who are first year doing their not just their rotation, which is basically training. And then we have interns in the building. So we have a lot of things going on as far as ways how to present this learning opportunity to different disciplinary that we have coming through the center. So programs that we have here at Elam Center, of course, are the adult continuum. So the adult continuum provides detoxification, and this is what we call detox. And so to go to the detox program, once you get on the unit, you get a little bit more detail as far as what a detox does. I can't give you all that because it's going to take all. And then I'll have to explain as far as the requirements and what those days are. And then we have the residential rehabilitation. So you have the detox and the residential rehabilitation. And then you have the intensive outpatient program, and then you have the outpatient program. So these are just adult continuum. That's what falls under that one grant, okay? We have several different grants in the building, but that one grant, adult continuum grant, those are the program that falls on that grant alone. Then of course we have the Rainbow program, and the Rainbow program, that's a separate grant, and that's where they mainly is mothers who have children, newborns, and who are pregnant as well, pregnant women coming to the program. Then we have the adolescent day treatment program. And then we have the Meharry medical group mental health clinic, and that's outside out of the Elam Center. I'm gonna have to show you guys because it's like across the street. It used to be in the building, but I recently, as I believe it was last year or maybe 2 years ago, they moved it outside the building, and so now it's a few steps away from the building. So to give you a little bit about the detoxification program. So again, this is just a synopsis of what it is, okay? And once you, for those of you who are going to be working on the residential unit with the male and the female, you're going to learn a lot more about this, especially with nurses, because there's some medication involved and supervision involved. Now, as far as therapists, clinicians, we don't do anything with when the patients when they're on detox. We wait until they get on residential before we start providing therapy. So while they're on detox, they are strictly medical. Okay. Once they get off of detox, then they become more of a therapeutic services can now start to can continue to start or can get started. So you got a medical and a social detox, and it tells you how many days each are. Medical is few days, I think 3 days, and then social is 5 days. Don't get me lying to you, but anyway, once you get on the unit, you get a lot more, but the length is between 3 to 7 days as determined by medical need. So that kind of give you an idea, a broad idea of what it is and those things to look for once you start working on the unit. And just remember this presentation just give you a synopsis of what we actually have, okay? So once you get on your unit or once you get on the program that you're working on, you'll learn a little bit more about what they do down there. Next, we have the staff that falls under the continuum of adult continuum of care. That's program manager. You have a program manager, and then you have nurses. Then you have mental health therapists, and then you have the technicians. So those are the staff that fall under our adult continuum program. So you have a program manager that answers to the clinical director, and then you have the nurses that answer to the nurse coordinator. Then you have the mental health therapist that answer to the program manager, and then you have the mental health technician that answer to the program manager. So it's a little bit more of intricate parts of what each person plays. Sometimes may be blur at times, but just know that once you get on board and you meet with your manager, they can kind of and give you those clear lines as far as when, for example, when the manager is not here, what do I do? So you kind of have an idea, so you're not standing out there not knowing what to do when the manager is not here. And so on the adult continuum, remember what we talk about, the detox, and then we have the residential. So once the patient on detox on the residential unit, once they complete the detox, medical and social, the next step is the residential rehab. And so when on the board, it has like RR, which is residential rehab, and this is where they actually start their therapy, their treatment for the substance use disorder they're here for. So they go in, they do their medical, they do their social, complete the time, and once they get on residential, that 14 to 28 day treatment length does not include the time they stayed on medical and social detox. Those days are separate from the days that they're going to be doing on residential. So whenever a patient gets off of detox, and the patient asks you, so how many days will I have left in treatment? Let him know, hey, just because you may have completed this amount of days on detox, but you're still required to complete this amount of days on residential. Those are two separate things. So we want to make that clear to them, because sometimes it gets a little bit blurred. And then under the adult continuum, we also have the intensive outpatient program. That's our IOP program. And the IOP program runs Monday to Thursday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So the patients who come in most of the time are either probation ordered, they're on probation or parole, and sometimes DCS because of child protective situation may be involved. So, And those people also, their work schedule may not, may be conducive to the times those schedules here. So this allows the client to receive treatment while being able to work and care for the family. So just kind of giving them a little bit more time where they're not on residential, but they are not in IOP either. And that just means that their level of care, recommended care falls into that. So sometimes you may do an assessment on a patient where you say, okay, the patient meets criteria for OP or residential. However, there's a reason why he may not be able to do OP or residential because of, might be work or family. But that's something that you and the probation and the patient, you all talk about to see where that patient fit. But at the end of the day, it's that all you can do is recommend the recommendation. So remember that when you do your assessment, all you can do is make the recommendation. At the end of the day, it's going to be the patient or the PO make the final decision on what they want to do. Although you make your recommendation, that doesn't necessarily mean that's where the patient going to end up. But intensive outpatient, if the patient's where I can do residential, be able to offer the IOP, because at least, hey, you may not be able to do residential at this time, but we do have an IOP program that doesn't allow you to come and live on campus, but allows you to do your treatment as well as continue to go home. And then we have our outpatient. So our outpatient is a very minimum treatment that we have here for the adult, and because they meet once a week on Monday, and that's 5 to 6:30. So this works a lot for people who work all day. So for someone who come for an assessment, whether we're referred by probation or self-referral, but it can, it can only do one day because of work schedule. Yeah, this works perfectly for them because they're still doing the 8-week program. But I said they just here once a week, and it's evening group. And right now we have one therapist covering. So, yeah. And then we have our adolescent day treatment program. So this the adolescent treatment program is from Monday through Thursday. This is also an intensive outpatient program, and they work on the school schedule. So for example, when they are in school, they're from 3 to 6, and when they are not in school during the summer, it's from 12 to 3. And so of course, again, they're required to do 32 sessions once they get enrolled into the program. And right now, this is the only level of youth program that we have. We do not have a residential youth program, only an intensive outpatient youth program. Staff for the ADT program, you have the program manager and the case manager. So right now, that's all we have, program manager and case manager for the ADT program. Then we have our Rainbow program. So our Rainbow program is very unique, and unique because what? We cater towards women who are pregnant, women who have newborn, and toddler. So these women come into to treatment for whatever reason that they were pushed, but coming with mental health or substance use disorder. They come into treatment, and the minimum to stay is 90 days. So that's 3 months you're talking about treatment. So while they're in treatment, they are helped with their getting whatever they need with the DCS, because there's a lot of DCS involvement, especially when it comes to the Rainbow program, because of course you got kids involved. So they do a lot of family meetings, community meetings, also treatment planning meetings, and this involves a lot with the community resources out there. And they do also provide daycare for the Rainbow women. So the kids, when you bring their toddler with them, we have someone in the daycare who, and the babies as well, who watches the babies and the toddlers, yay, while they go to group. And their session, individual sessions. And so the Rainbow style is the same as the adult continuum, but you have one inclusion is the case manager. So for example, you have the program manager, nurses, techs, therapist, and then you have case manager. So we have a case manager currently right now who we have a partnership, or it's like a grant partnership with Mending Hearts, and so the program is called Mending Rainbow, and so this is where our case manager, the Mending Rainbow case manager, works directly with the Rainbow moms and help them to get into housing, okay, and other services that they may need. As you gotta know, housing is crazy out there, so anybody that can assist with housing, yay. But that case manager it worked directly only with the Rainbow moms to help them with any services that they may need while they're here, and of course with Mending Rainbows to get into housing. And then we have our REACH program, and our REACH program is the our HIV program, and they work mainly with HIV and AIDS positive patients who are suffering from substance use disorder and mental health. And so it is more individualized program. So they provide individual sessions and some case management, actually a lot of heavy case management stuff. So they provide case management to those people who are enrolled into the program. And this program is basically just one team. You have the program manager, that's me, and then you have the therapist who does the sessions and case management that they may need. And then you have our mental health outpatient clinic. I say clinics, but I think it's just one or maybe more. I'm not sure. But anyway, but our mental health clinic, it falls under my Harry Medical Group umbrella. So I guess there's more than one clinic. Anyway, so they sell most insurance. They're open 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and Saturday 8 to 12. It is self-pay in indigent care. I don't know if you're aware of indigent care. So, but Harry has the safety net. I'm going to call it safety net. Other places call it safety net, where a patient would apply for the indigent care services. So based on that, they have to bring their ID and all the information that they may need to bring to get and qualify for this service. And that's basically kind of clear them to get any other medical or mental health services that they may need. So I think that's a great piece that a lot are missing. And then we have our Suboxone treatment. I'm not sure if this is still around. I have to research that. And then research study. I think that's always something that's going on here, because again, this is a institution for a medical institution. So there's always research going on. Oh, and I want to go back to add something to the REACH program. Prior to the REACH program, we also had a program, Project Hope. And I was a manager at the time, but Project Hope, but we provided hepatitis C testing and HIV testing to the patient, and we still do that through the health department. So I just want to touch that to keep that in mind. If you have a patient who may need testing HIV or Hep C and other STI, we have the health department comes once a month to provide HIV and those other STI testings. I want to make sure I say that before I forget them. And so our mental health clinic, of course, covered by psychiatrists, and then we have residents, and then patient care services, and then medical assistants. So those are the staff that you will find at a clinic. Maybe one day you should take a walk down there. It was my first time going there one time. Pretty nice. Okay, so next is our organizational structure, right? Who's in charge? Yeah, that's the question. Who's in charge around here? All right. So we have our leadership team, and as we have Dr. Williamson, who is the chair. We have Dr. McMaster, our executive director. He's my boss. And then we have Dr. Ms. Lenny Woodson. She's our department administrator, as well as the finance person. So she handles all finance. Anything money, go to Ms. Lenique. She will handle it for you. You have Dr. Chang, he works with the residents, and then you have Dr. McKenzie, he also works with the resident, but he also provides treatment and services in the clinic. Then we have our management team. And so that consists of Michael Bennett. He's the male residential program manager. And then you have, I have to change that to, it's no longer Chantel Baker. I have to amend that. Yes, so right now we are, had to hire someone, so we're still waiting to make that official. And then we have our adolescent day treatment program, and that's Miss Garmentopa, and she's also our emergency preparedness coordinator, and then also a CPI coordinator. So yeah, she wears many hats as well. And then you have, of course, me. I'm a grant associate, but in addition, training coordinator, a reach manager, internship coordinator, internship supervisor. Yeah, so many of us wear many hats here. So see here. Oh yeah, I think I think that Miss Sarah Evans. She's our clinical director as well. So okay, so now we're going to talk about work hours and breaks. Okay, so that's a lot of things when we have new hire who, when I'm working with them to get them signed on the training, they usually ask, I go, so what are my hours? Yeah, I don't know. That's something you have to talk to with your manager. So you have the non-exempt hours do not meet fair labor standard. Assumption test also are known as hourly wage earners. Okay, require to swap and clocking. So you guys are the one who, for example, will be the I think it's a techs. Yeah, techs and nurses. I'm not sure. Depending on where your job role is, please confirm with your manager. I do know that the manager and the therapist are salary. I'm not sure about nurses and techs. I think there might be hourly. I'm not sure on that. Sorry. Yes. So again, this is all just an overview of what we have at Elam Center, but you can get a more detailed information when you meet with your manager. Okay, so usually my Harry General is like what 8.5 hour day with 30 minutes of paid and 30 minutes of unpaid break. You have Elam Center, Elam residential unit, shift workers, nurses, techs. So I guess yeah, these are the ones who are the hourly, the nurses and techs. And then your supervisor, under the guidance of the clinical director, is responsible for assigning your work hours and determining the hours your program is open for business. So as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to your hours, your breaks, and your shift, please make sure you clarify that with your manager. It's very important to just to know what's going on, so you don't find yourself into something that you didn't intend to be. So just clarify that when you get here. I would say if you try to do it in the first week, or at least first 2 weeks. But I'd say the first week, because you got to know, okay, what are my hours? What are my hours going to be like? Because the first week is mainly like training and orientation, so your hours may vary. But once you stop, orientation is done, you definitely want to know for sure. Okay, so next we're going to talk about dress code. So it is important that employee representing Harry represent a professional, I can't read it, professional impression to both public and to patients. Your appearance on the job should be businesslike and appropriate for your position and work area. So I'll leave that to you and your manager. I know for the nurses here, they wear scrubs, and for other disciplinary in the center, do more like business casual or business like, so depending. I think Fridays would be like a dress down day, but again, that's something you discuss with your manager and clarify that. All right, so next we want to talk about confidentiality. So we know confidentiality is very, very important when it comes to making sure you safeguard your information. And definitely Meharry wants to make sure that you're aware of that. So let's just say ethical principle that the information a patient reveals to a healthcare provider is private, has limits on how and when it can be disclosed to a third party. So it's very important that we keep patient information confidential, as well as keep your information confidential. So for example, when you guys fill out when you fill out something for your job for coming here to Meharry, I'm sure you somewhere on there it has your name, your birthday, your social security or something. So when you give that to staff, we want to make sure that we keep that also private for your for confidentiality purposes. So we want you to do the same to the patient while you're here as well, because you don't want your information out there. So we expect you to provide the same as you would like to be provided to you, to the patient as well. So this principle is not limited to just patient information, as we were talking about earlier. It will include also salaries, passwords, student information, pricing and cost data, donor information, supplier and subcontractor information. So you can discuss your salary, meaning you as the individual, you can discuss your salary to whomever you want to discuss your salary to. Whoever you want to do that to is fine. It's up to you. You know, that's your business. You choose to share your business somewhere else, that's fine. But those who are who have access to that information cannot divulge that information to someone else. So we want to make sure we keep that confidential. Now, if it comes back and say, "Oh well, this person making that, how come I'm making that?" The question will be like, I don't understand I don't know where you got that information, but that's something I want to discuss with that individual you got that information from, because I don't know what you're talking about. So be mindful of that. And password, make sure you keep your password to yourself. Do not share your password. I'm sure you guys have heard this before. This is not, the first work you have come to where we are repeatedly been told that, hey, do not share your password, especially if you log into a computer. Now we have a electronic medical record that we are going towards, so you definitely going to need to keep your password on guard, because if you're recording patient information or any update on the patient and you leave your screen open for anyone to come in there and put anything in there, yeah, that's a possibility that can happen. So in order for you to avoid that, when you are done charting, or even in the middle of charting and you have to leave for whatever reason, just make sure you log out, and when you get back, you just log back in, and don't share your password with anyone who doesn't have any right to have your password. And then of course, student information. If you know of any student, your student come to you, student getting any services from you, don't share their personal information. Again, as I mentioned earlier, if you as an individual, if you don't want your information to be shared, then make sure you do the same thing to someone else. Someone else's information, don't share. Pricing and cost and data information. And donor, just keep your information private. And then we have workplace and security, work safety and security. So I just gotta know, or maybe you may not know, we have security right, behind us, where the cars, the parking on the side is next to a security. So if there's any issue or anything, just make sure that you reach out to security for anything. I know for those of you who just started your name tag, they told you to go to security for your name badge. Because that's where you get your security clearance. Once you get that name badge, when you are leaving Meharry, this also sends you back to turn in your security name badge and your key. So security is where I guess everything starts as far as getting clearance to come to be a Meharian. And then other things that we want you to be aware of when it comes to workplace safety and security is what notify your supervisor for any unsafe conditions, accidents or injury. Now we do have a incident report form, so make sure that you follow the guideline for completing incident report. And if you don't know how to complete incident report, just talk to your manager. If something happens, talk to a manager what happens, and if that needs to go on the incident report, and what needs to go in, how to complete that, who to submit. So please keep that in mind, because a lot of time things happen. People, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. I didn't know. No, yeah, don't. I didn't know. No, there's not such a thing. And then we have Meharry biohazard safety class. Meharry offers to all staff, and some of you may have already gotten the alert or the email from HealthStream, because that's where the training is on HealthStream. So you will get, I think it's like within the 90 days or you're here, you will get your HealthScreen information to log in and complete the training. And then another workplace safety and security is wear your name badge. Okay, so you'll know where you are, who you are, so people don't look at you strange. So when you walk in the building, people know how to identify you. So please wear a name badge. And this is the only way you can get into the building anyway with your name badge. So without your name badge, you're gonna have to ask somebody to allow you in the building. So keep your name badge on. And of course, report any crimes or suspicious activities. So if you see something that's out of the ordinary, please just don't let it slide. Just report. It'd rather be safe than sorry. It may be nothing, but the fact that, hey, alert was given, so that if it is something, you kind of help de-escalate. And then we're talking about what? Employee development and training. So this is where I come in. So when you get here, I know I met with some of you, and some of you I will be meeting with, but when you get into the building, first thing is, hey, come and see me, okay? Because I have to get you set up for all the training, and that's our Reliance training, and that's our HealthStream training. Now the HealthStream training, that's automatic, because Meharry set you up. That's, again, usually is after the orientation. Once you complete the orientation, you'll get that email from Meharry Compliance and HealthStream to get you started on your HealthStream. Now with me, that's the Reliance. And the Reliance, what I do, I sign you up, I sign you onto some training, get you in the system, and then there's some other trainings that we'll talk about later on, where you complete on the state website. And just know that training is mandatory. I know it's difficult because this training is a lot. That's why when you first get here, I say stay with me a week to get as many trainings done as possible, because once you get on a unit or wherever, or the program, it's very difficult to find time to do your training. So try to do as much as you can when you can. So what we expect is that the new hires to complete these trainings within the 7 days right here. And once I send you the email, there's an email that I send. When I send you the email, it tells you all the stuff, the trainings that you need and how to access the training. So for example, you have your TB skin test, you got to complete your TB screening tool, your Title 6 CPR, code of ethics, code of conduct, and child abuse. So you have to complete the training within the first 7 days you're here. And then with the if you have, for some people, they are coming with, okay, well, I already done my TB skin test like 2 months ago or 3 months ago. Just let me know. I'll talk with the medical team. That would be the nurse coordinator and other nurses. And sometimes we'll say, you know what, we don't need to do another TB skin test, and I already did that. And at times they also have done another TB skin test, but just let me know. If you had in the past, and we also would need the proof for that you have done it. And another thing also is this CPR class. So some of you who may already come from those agencies that do provide classes, you may have your CPR card updated already. Just bring me a copy and we'll put that in the file. But if you don't have a copy, you have to let me know, because we have to schedule the day and time with our instructor to come on campus and get you trained. And then within the first 90 days of employment, this is the training that we also have to offer. That's the Narcan training, our emergency preparedness training, our crisis prevention intervention training, and our active shooter drill training. So I know it may be difficult to try to get everybody, within the first 90 days, but we try our best, because most of the trainings are out of 4 of these training, 2 we have person in-house who can do it. 2 we don't have an in-house person, so we have to reach out to other people to come and do the training, so it might take time to get it scheduled, but that's something that we do offer within the first 90 days of employment. And then the health stream that I mentioned earlier about coming from a Harry and the compliance department, these are the training that you will have to complete, and they will give you a time to complete, but it's not much at all. It's a lot of training, as you can see, and so sometimes you may have a month to complete them, and then sometimes you may have a few weeks. But once you complete your orientation with Meharry, just check your email, because it will come to your Meharry email stating that you have some health stream training that is assigned to be completed. And I asked, and just go back a little bit, and I asked that these these trainings, I do not have access to these trainings, meaning I'm not able to print out your certificates. So because they are health stream and I put it not on the Elam platform, so I have to reach out to compliance to send me an update, or please just, once you complete your training, just print out your certificates and give them to me. Because if I don't have your certificate, you did not complete the training. That's basically. And because when we do have audit, we have state and carve audits, and they do look in your file for the certificates, and if they're not there, you did not complete. So it's very important that you complete any trainings that are not in Reliance, to please give me your certificates. This is the email that I sent out to new staff. So it tells you your password to the Reliance and how to log in. It tells you your CPR, the information I'm going to need, and where to put your copy of your CPR. And it tells you those training that are due within the first 7 days. And it tells you the date. Just ignore the November 12th, because I would just, this is an example. And then down here you have links to all the trainings, like the TB screening 2, Title 6, the child abuse. You have a link to all of them, and even HealthStream and the Reliance is also on here. So I just don't like people when I hear, well, I didn't know how to get on there, so I didn't complete. No, all you got to do is just read the email and click on the link, and it will take you directly. And what I do, excuse me, and this is why I add as manager, that when you do have a new hire, let them come with me for a week, because I get to sit with them. We go through this email, and I show them each how to access the website by clicking on the link, and I show them where to go exactly. So I don't have to hear, oh, I didn't know how to access it. So please, 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 if you get lost, send me an email that you're having trouble accessing the link. And so Meharry has policy and procedure as well. Elam, of course, has their policy and procedure, but we are using Meharry policy and procedure. So, but most of them also are tailored to what we do here at Elam. So we have a policy and procedure manual. This is something I also gave to new hire to read and sign. It's a requirement. I don't expect you to read each policy per page, because it's several of them, but at least just scan. One of the things that we do want you to look for exactly when you're reading the policy and procedure, and I want to talk about that next, is the rights of person served. Because again, that's what you're going to be doing here, serving people. So you've got to know the rights of those people that you're serving. But there are many other policy and procedure that are in the manual. And so if you want to read more about it, please do. But definitely scan it and then sign the. This is supposed to be an annual thing, by the way. You're supposed to review the policy and procedure annually and sign. So now we get to rights of person served. I didn't realize that's what the picture looked like. Nice. Okay, so right here is highlighting the person rights of person served, and what it says is it is the policy of the Elam Center to protect and promote the rights of person served. Okay, now I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but just to sum it up, just know that whatever regard of however we think about someone or we review someone, that's our own internal biases, and that should not be what put on someone else. So when we get a person, regardless of race, age, religion, sex, whatever, we should treat them with what? The same way we like to be treated, with respect and dignity. Okay, so when you're working with a patient, just know, am I treating the patient the way I would like to be treated if I was a patient? We'll talk about it earlier when we talk about confidentiality, just as you will want your information to be held or given the respect of privacy. So you want to provide the same rights and respect and dignity to someone who you are working with, and that is very, very important that you keep that in mind, because lots of time when we have staff come in or new employee come in, they sometimes, and I know everybody come from different backgrounds, so sometimes our way of looking at situation may be different, but it's okay, and be okay to be aware of that, but at the same time let that be addressed and then move on and see how you can adjust that to the new environment. So while you're working with a patient, if the patient is having any issue, it's again that we talk about, just be able to adjust whatever it is that need to be adjusted to address the need of that patient that you're working with. So appropriate arrangements will need to be made, right, to ensure there is adequate privacy during visits. Client have the right to refuse use of audio or visual recordings. That's one thing we don't want you to do here. Don't take your phone out and start recording patient because, the patient doing something really funny and I want to post it on social media so I can get whatever likes. No, we do not do anything without patient permission. Again, we do not do anything without patient's permission. That even include providing care or treatment. When we do assessment, there's a form that say consent for treatment. If a patient refuses to sign that, we do not provide treatment because we have to have consent. Yeah, we may be, funded by the state, but also there are rules and guidelines that we follow. Same thing. So if you have a patient who you having a conversation with, and the patient said, "I do feel uncomfortable having a conversation with you right now," you need to stop. Don't continue. The patient is not comfortable, and you need to respect that and remove yourself. Like, for example, when we have new interns, and I want this intern to sit in group, before, even I, as the intern supervisor, before I sit in group, I have to ask permission from the group. Is it okay if I come in and sit in your group? Is it okay if my intern come in and sit in your group? We have to have permission to be able to do what we know, even though we know it's best, but we have to have permission. And that permission is refused, we try to encourage, but again, that refuse, we step back because it's good to, allow them time to process, what they just been presented with. Patients have the right to voice complaint, grievances, appeals about the care of services provided with freedom from restraint, interference, coercion, discrimination, and reprisal. So please, when a patient has any grievances against you, it's okay. All right? Allow the patient to voice their opinion about whatever situation is. Now, you're going to have your time to, present your side of the story. But meantime, you cannot threaten the patient because he tells you, well, I'm going to report what happened to your manager or to your supervisor, or I'm going to tell this person on you. You cannot go back to the patient and say, why did you do this? Or you cannot do that. What you do is just stepping boundaries right there. Now that's another session for boundaries, because we also have a session on that professional boundaries. But you have to respect your patient boundaries. So if you having any issue with any patient and the patient is complaining about you, perhaps you just need to allow somebody else to take over. And patients have the right to be treated with consideration, respect. We talk about respect, for recognition of that dignity, something we talked about. and psychological characteristics. Something just come to mind I want to mention, because we have probably in the past, but we have transgender patients are coming for services. And so in the past, that's something people had some staff had, I don't want to say confusion, but trying to figure out where they thought that the patient would be a good fit, whether it's the male or the residential, depending on how the patient identified themselves. And so there have been conversation I've been going on about that, because as you know, when working with transgender, you have to be very careful, and you have to respect whatever they're telling you that they are presenting themselves as. And now it's up to you for you to accommodate that, or tell them, hey, I'm sorry, we don't have that kind of accommodation. But you got to be upfront with them and let them know what's going on. You cannot tell them one thing and then go back to the other staff and tell them something else, and then it causes so much chaos. So be upfront with them and explain to them, hey, these are our expectations, this is how much we can give, and this is how much we can allow. Now allow that patient to process that and come back with their own, opinion or decision on that. And of course, we don't do any sexual abuse or physical abuse while the patient is here receiving treatment, any humiliation or threatening any kind of expletive actions. Now, our center is co-occurring capable, and what that means is that, of course, that's part of funding, but what that means is that we provide co-occurring services. So that can be mental health and substance use disorder, that provide psychiatric piece to that. So that can be psychiatric evaluation, providing them some medication management, and other things that it may need assistance with. And again, that's part of funding, so we get a little extra money for that. And then, as I mentioned earlier, this addresses co-occurring disorder, policy and procedure, treatment planning. We are able to address the interaction between mental health and substance-related disorders and their effect on consumers and readiness to change. So basically, we are just capable of providing co-occurring disorder care. Yeah, I know it's just like a fancy name for that, co-occurring capable. All right, I kind of went through this fast, but this is the end. If you have additional questions, please email me. I will have my email later, or just talk to your manager. I think the best person ready for you to talk to is your manager, especially when it comes to your working hours. I try to make myself as much as available as possible regarding trainings, but any other question that you have, talk to your manager. They will be able to give you a little bit more regarding your job description, your job responsibility, your job role, and the expectations in your role that are expected of you. So I will end here, and I want to thank you, and I want to welcome you to Meharry, and I wish you the best on your journey, in your career and professional journey. Thank you.